So PG Lang, Kendrick's
Mhm.
company, announced something called Project 3 Agency
Yeah, the creative agency.
with a cryptic video. And at the end of the video, there's a phone number on a table. I didn't call or text the number. Did
Okay.
you?
I did not.
All right, me either. But what I did do was go to the Project 3 website.
Uh-huh. This is probably the most appropriate thing to do.
I tried to do a little journalistic stuff, just a little bit. It
Right.
says here in the info section, because when you go to the website, that same video starts playing.
Mm.
But
I
there's a
mean, it's
little
a rollout.
little info tab. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a little info tab, and it says Project 3 Agency is
Hmm.
a full service agency that provides creative direction, comma, brand design, strategy, content creation, event planning, and production services.
Look at that.
Built on the program language operating system, it is the first company of Project 3, an initiative designed to expand creative resources for both corporate and independent businesses.
Interesting.
He said, take that, Live Nation.
I mean, it's really smart. It's really smart because usually they hate when I make those long pauses. They absolutely hate it. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Relax. So, because they hate it. They put it in the comments and they say that I take these long pauses and I talk slow. Well, if you want me to talk fast and sound like a blithering fool, we could try that way, but it's probably even more irritating than me taking my time. Anyway,
Listen, there's a 1.5 speed button, a 2 speed
yeah.
button. If y'all want it faster, then do it faster.
I
You
watch
know.
I watch a lot of things on 1.5 and 2. Just as informative. But anyway, I think we're used to seeing artists create companies that almost emulate what they do specifically. So we typically see rappers create record labels that have more rappers on it.
Okay.
I really like the idea of creating a company that allows for creativity on all fronts. This sounds very much so like that. There are a lot of different hats to be worn at a creative agency, and that don't just put what they're doing over there in a box. I
Right.
think
And if
this
you're
fits.
looking to hire someone, Dashing D is looking to leave Tyler Perry Studios and go to another endeavor.
Well, you got me fired from Tyler Perry Studios this week, so absolutely we'll take the job at Project 3.
And you don't even need a pitch deck. I did it already.
Thank you so much.
There it is.
So so yeah, I love this. I love this idea. I love the fact that Kendrick Lamar is involved in something like this. I think that when you look at what he does, as far as his creativity, as far as his artistry, as far as his intention in everything he does, it's very meticulous, it's very well thought out, it's very strategic. He doesn't just perform his music, he doesn't just make music videos, he doesn't just write songs, you know what I mean? It's a whole, I feel like we get a very 360 view with Kendrick when it comes to what he does for himself. So I think this is really cool. And I think he's the perfect person to be involved with something like this because I think that his creativity goes far beyond him just being a music artist. So I like this idea. I think this is great for people who are also looking to maybe find new and fresh minds and ideas. This is the perfect thing to create, to breed that type of environment. I think this is really exciting.
I agree with all of that. I also would like to say this is how you take advantage of having momentum.
Yeah.
Kendrick has turned this battle, you sneezed on the truth. Bless you.
Thank you.
Kendrick has turned the battle into so many big moments
Yeah.
that it is so much more than the battle now. It is an
Yeah.
iconic run. It is a stamp in hip hop history. And I'm trying to be careful because I always say that people overhype Kendrick. But you got to give props where props are due. He has rode the momentum. And every time you feel like, all right, it's about to slow down. No, no, some new shit's coming.
I have a question though. Are we allowed? We've had this conversation many times, especially about one particular person. We're not going to talk about that person today, but are we allowed to call Kendrick Lamar a genius?
I think this makes him a strategist, not a genius. But if you want to call him a genius, I'm okay with that. I think, and I've said this before, I think that we don't call the right people genius.
I
I think
agree.
there are many people who are genius in different ways. And if they're not like a scientist, we don't call them a genius. But there's genius level skill and genius level talent all over the
I agree.
entertainment industry. So if you feel that Kendrick meets your genius criteria, then call him a genius. Yeah, go for it. I think this makes him an awesome strategist. I think him and his team are doing great things. And I think he told us this on GNX, on Heart Part 6. He said, I want to take a stab at being an executive, having an executive role.
Hmm.
And that's what we're watching happen. So if you feel like he's a genius, go ahead, say it, girl.
I'm just curious. I was just curious about it because we've spoken before about people who are considered geniuses, especially in the world that Kendrick is in. And I just wonder, especially as I talk about him and the fact that I think he's there's nothing singular about him. Shouldn't he be a contender for the genius conversation? I'm not saying he is or he isn't. I'm simply asking the question,
Right.
given what we've talked about previously. That's all.
I think it's fine. If he meets the criteria, go ahead. I tell you, I think we're too stingy with it when it comes to certain things. I think
Yeah.
there's lots of examples in of different types of geniuses in the industry and the culture.
Hmm.
I think we see genius level marketing, genius level songwriting, genius level lots of things, you know.
Okay.
But if it's not a certain like type of super producer, you can't
Right.
be a genius. But there's plenty of like I think Babyface is a genius. How could you write all of those songs for
Easily.
different tempos, different people, different scenarios? I mean, whatever. This ain't the genius segment, but yeah. If you
No,
think
I
Kendrick's
know.
a genius, go
Because I know
for it.
a lot of y'all think that, rapping over a xylophone makes you a genius. But, anyway,
Or wearing a piano to the gala.
right. Moving right along.
Moving right along.